you might have spoken about this earlier, because I got here fairly late, and I see there's a poem up there. I mean, I just want to ask you about poetry. You mentioned the Odyssey earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Do you read a lot of poetry? Do you like reading poetry? Why do you like or dislike reading poetry?
I'd say I read some poetry. I don't think there's any poems up here, but I do enjoy reading poetry, especially when Sarah's often like showing me things. She's like, "Oh, you should read this. It's so beautiful," and then like, yeah, it is pretty amazing. And there are a few poems that connect with me pretty deeply. And actually, speaking of which, I guess I do read some poetry for, what was that?
Dude, for Cinderella.
For Cinderella, I auctioned myself off to promote the health of women's cervixes. And
Wait. Hold on.
That sounds really good.
This is a fundraiser for an organization, the Hicks Foundation in town, and we do a fundraiser where we have men auction off services, or you'll cook a meal, or you'll read poems, or you'll take someone rock climbing. So I had Andy and a number of my other friends auction themselves off, and it's a benefit for this organization, just for a little bit of
as the backstory. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out, God, what the hell? I don't have any skills. What am I going to do? So I'm like, I could do a poetry reading, and also had this poem that I had written myself that I shared with this girl. So I'm like, yeah, I could do that. So yeah, there were a few poems in there. I actually read some Ovid, some of the Metamorphoses, and had my own original poem, The Ballad of the Earl of Sandwich. I think I might be able to remember it.
So how much did your services go for?
Yeah,
It was 95 clams.
Wow.
He was awesome. Got up on the stage and everything. It's great.
Yeah.
Was that the most that anyone went for, is what I want to know?
No, there were people that were going for
More.
a lot.
First
Some of the
They
meals.
had other services. Like the entire UVM rugby team went for more than $95
Like, yeah,
for yard work.
yard work or painting your house or something.
Oh, hard work. Right. That's what they're calling it. No.
That's what the kids call it.
Yard work, that's what they like to the entire team.
You were going to say the poem.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the poem. Okay, it's called The Ballad of the Earl of Sandwich. I think I can remember all of it. The Earl of Sandwich took his pleasures in food and drink quite far from bland, but most of all, he took great measures in cards to never miss a hand. One evening in a game engrossed, the Earl was never wont to cease. The Earl, he dined on cheese and toast, and meat that filled his hands with grease. These bloody food, these bloody cards, the deck is spoiled, the Earl thus spoke. One must invent a remedy. I'm just a clever bloke. Waiter, he cried, bring me some bread. 2 slices should suffice. And with it bring some meat and cheese. An onion would be nice. Then gathered he these fixins 3 upon a single slice of bread, and topped it with another slice. The crowd, though, all went dead. Uproarious laughter did ensue. He had them in a stitch. One gentry replied, I'd like one too. Bring me out a sandwich. Invented not by cook, nor chef, nor floozy serving girl. The sandwich hero we all know is our clever gambling Earl. But yeah, I read the story on Wikipedia or something. How it was invented by this guy. I played a lot of cards, and I'm like, I could make that into a poem. So.
Perhaps that's a good note to end on.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I can eat a sandwich now.
Excellent. Yeah, yum. That sounds delicious. Take some snacks.
Thank you.
No problem.